Blessed afternoon, collective. Excuse me. How's it going? Still recovering a little bit here. But I want to pull a reading. The nervous tension has not stopped. I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. I can just feel it. I mean, my body physically is tingling. I can feel my hands, my palms starting to sweat. It's that kind of, oh my God, this is real. This is getting real. It's about to happen. It feels like something is about to happen. It's that moment just before you're gonna step on stage. They're introducing you. They're calling your name. It's about to happen, and it is really happening, and there's no escaping it. That's the feeling. That's a big part of the feeling. The other part of it is the nerves are shot. Man, masculine energy is just, it's fried. It's so tired. It is so tired of resisting. It's been resisting and fighting this for so long. I'm not saying what this is. There's a shift. The shift is happening. There are some very clear changes for masculine energy. There's a clear impulse towards action. And fear has been standing in the way of that. That's just what it is. And it's been building and building and creating more and more tension because this action has already taken place. Energetically speaking, the desire for it is so strong and so clear, it's pure, that energetically it's already been aligned and it has already been accomplished. There's nothing actually stopping it. It's done. It's already done. Again, masculine energy has correctly manifested some big changes, some big shifts, but they are resisting, the energy is resisting following that inspired, aligned action, following the impulse to actually moving into this new manifestation, to receiving it fully. And it feels important at this moment to kind of, that's pretty cool, to kind of briefly touch upon something that's been percolating for me today, which is, what is aligned action? How do you identify it? Because there is this difference. There's an important difference between something that feels hard, something that feels like you gotta motivate yourself to do it. It feels like there's all this resistance there that has to do with just lack of interest, just not wanting to. It doesn't feel good. That's an action that's not aligned. And we do a lot of forcing ourselves to take this action. See, masculine energy's got it all backwards. It's got it backwards. It completely confuses what an aligned action is, what a true impulse is, and what the impulse is that's telling us not the time to act. Don't force this. Don't push this. It does the opposite. So a lot of times we tell ourselves we have to do things. I have to do this. I don't want to. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel inspired. It doesn't feel right. It feels like forcing, like really pushing, like struggling, like a slog, like I gotta do this again. I gotta motivate myself. That's an action that's not aligned. That is an action that's not ready. It's not ready to be taken yet. That is the impulse telling you not to take that action. It's the impulse of the soul telling you, hold off. Just hold on. Rest. Wait. Be still. It's not ready yet. When it's ready, you will know. You will receive a different impulse. That impulse will be to act, and it will be so powerful and so inspired that you can't help but act. You feel a desire to. You just feel this natural draw. Even if it's something that takes a lot of exertion, you won't be able to stop it. Like a contraction. It'll just happen. It will pull you in, and you will have to exert more effort to fight against that current than to just go with the flow of it. That's the path of least resistance. Now, here is a key component, however, and this is why masculine energy, which is the mind and the ego, tends to confuse an aligned action and a misaligned one. An aligned action can often feel scary. So if we're not paying attention, we might conflate scary with hard. It feels scary. I feel fear. There's this sense of resistance because there's fear. I'm resistant to it because I'm afraid. Not because it doesn't feel good. Not because I don't want to do it. Because I'm afraid. And we might then say, well, I don't want to do it because I'm afraid. That's not true. That's not true. Fear is standing in front of something that you have an interest in. I guarantee it. There is something there that's drawing you into it. But the fear of ego is what's creating the resistance and the sensation of hard or challenging. That's not a misaligned action. That's an action you want to take. That's an action you're being called towards. And you're being called, especially in this moment, into this opportunity to feel fear, to acknowledge it, to face it, and flow around it. To recognize, I want to take this action. I am feeling the call towards this. The only thing standing in the way is ego. And it's only there because it doesn't know. It's confused. It's afraid. Something about this requires vulnerability. Something about this action means putting myself out there. It's perceived as a risk. It's perceived as some sort of threat, potentially. Something about this action means I gotta expose myself. There's a big unknown element to it. It's uncertain. I don't know what's gonna happen. All of that has to do with ego. All of that is the projection of fear that's sitting on top, again, of your guidance system. Fear is not guidance. Fear is just a reaction of the ego as a response to a perceived threat. And it's an opportunity to witness that and then to feel around it. How does this actually feel? Is this something I really want to do? Is this being blocked by fear? Is it being motivated by fear? Because that's a big one too. We'll often take misaligned action because we're motivated by fear of what happens if I don't do it. What's going to happen if I don't? How will this reflect on me? Everything will fall apart, that kind of thing. Fear is never a thing to follow. It is a thing to be aware of, to include in your perspective. But that is the big difference that masculine energy struggles with between an aligned action and a misaligned one. If it feels hard, if it feels like you're just banging your head against the wall trying to convince yourself to do this, or if the only motivation for it is fear, is what happens if I don't? How does this again reflect on me? What does it mean? If there's an unknown with that, I don't know what's going to happen if I don't do it, and that's scary. All of that is a signal from your soul, from your guidance system, to just breathe, to let go of that one. It's not the time. It's not prepared. It's not ready. The energy is not lined up for this. So just let it go. Let it be. Return to stillness. Return to feeling deeply into the present moment. When it is time, you will receive an impulse, and that's what an aligned action is. You receive a powerful impulse to act. And it's so clear and it's so direct, and there might be fear in front of it. It might be a scary new sensation of, whoa, I really want to do that, and I've never done that, and that kind of freaks me out, but I really want to do it. That's what you follow. In that moment, that's when you take action. You say, I'm going to do it anyway because I want to, because it feels good, because it feels right to me. That's it. No other reason. This is a feeling journey. We are meant to be feeling creatures, not thinking ones. The brain, it's good for some things. It's amazing for some things. It is not designed to interpret the guidance of the soul. And it's not the place where we're meant to be living from. Consciousness is not meant to inhabit up here. It's meant to stay in the heart space. The heart, the solar plexus, the sacral chakra. It's meant to stay centered within us in this feeling area. So that felt important to touch on. If it feels hard, if it feels forced, don't do it. If it feels exciting and right and maybe scary, but you want to know, you want to find out, do that. Do that. If it feels natural, do it, regardless of what else. If it feels unnatural, if it just doesn't feel right, don't do it. It is that simple, but it requires staying in tune. It requires really tapping into the feeling of it. Not the logic, not the thinking, not does this make sense. No, none of that matters. How does it feel? Does it feel right? Does it feel not so right? Follow that and trust it, and then feel good about it because you're following your guidance. And that always is an empowering thing. That's an empowering, satisfying experience. So now that that's out of the way, I am going to pull a reading. I don't know exactly what I'm pulling on other than, I guess, the current state. What's going on? I mean, I continue to be just generally curious. It's not such a serious thing. It's lost all seriousness for me. I am relaxing into this cycle and this process and the understanding that everything is happening exactly as it should be, in the right time, in the right place. So I'm just kind of watching. I'm just observing. I'm just checking in now and then to see. And mostly I'm checking in with myself continuously. Because it's all about feeling. Nothing actually is real but feeling. It's true. It's time to go. It's time. The chariot, there's a great tension here. I mean, it stopped me. It was like deer in the headlights, full pause. The chariot's fueling, but it's ready to go. It's ready to go. This is a NASCAR race car that is about 3 seconds out from being ready to launch from the pit. And when those 3 seconds are up, it's gonna go. There's no question about it. Of course, this goes. Again, that feeling of the race about to start. It's about to happen. It's about to happen. Yeah, I mean, Ace of Swords, new energy, new beginning. There's certainly a truth here that can't be denied, and that is pulling us. We are being pulled. It's like the truth is being extracted from us. Have you ever had that experience where you just had to blurt something out? You couldn't hold it in anymore? That's what happens. That's how nature works. Most likely there were earlier opportunities to follow that impulse that weren't followed. This is not a statement of judgment. I have experienced this personally, right? There were opportunities to express this truth. Opportunities that felt right, but they felt scary. And so we missed them. And that energy kept building, right? It had already flowed. This truth had already been expressed. We were just keeping it in. It was just a matter of time before it came out. It couldn't be held in. It could not be contained anymore. This truth is bursting forth. Yeah, it's coming out. Or coming in, whatever direction you want to describe it as. There's something that's been missing. There's something that's been left out. There's a key detail. There's just something. There's something I never told you. There's something you need to know. It just feels like that. In another layer of energy, we've been denying this in ourselves for a long time. And kind of trying to by keeping this in the dark, we've been keeping ourselves in the dark. We've been keeping ourselves out. We've been operating again against the soul. And it's gotten very cold. And just like anything, it's a matter of time. It is just a matter of time before something's got to give. We're right there. We are right there. There's not a way out of this. It is almost the feeling too of, we think we've escaped. I get the false victory off of this. A little bit of the sensation of, oh, I've successfully avoided this. I have successfully found a way not to be vulnerable. It's like, you told yourself you would go talk to that person. You really want to talk to this person. You see somebody across a room. You really want to talk to them, but you're scared. You feel nervous. And you say, well, if the next person to order a beer orders a stout, then I'll go talk to them. You make up some sort of arbitrary sign from the universe and say, if this happens, or if she comes over here, or, you put limitations on it. And then that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen, and you go, oh, well, it must not be meant to be. Then, I avoided the opportunity to be vulnerable. I avoided the chance that was given to me by the universe to follow an impulse and express myself. And now I feel safe and secure again because I didn't have to do that. Then, the person leaves the bar. A couple minutes later, you leave, and they're standing right outside. And it's just you and them. And you make eye contact. You thought you escaped it. You thought you escaped this opportunity, which can feel like you're being forced into something, but because you're being called, because your soul is calling you into following an impulse, into embracing the moment, into overcoming fear, into expressing yourself authentically. There's a truth here that's known. You want to talk to this person. You want to just say hello. You want to introduce yourself. Just that. Follow that. Follow that. The universe is not going to set it up in the way that you think, in the way that you want, in the way that you feel comfortable and safe with. But it is going to give you that opportunity. It's going to push you into it and say, go on. Go on. You want to do this? Go ahead. We can't escape this. We can't escape this. It's going to keep coming back around. It's been coming back around. There have been countless versions of that story. And that's just a story, right? A story based more on my own experience than anything else. But it does play out that way. And it will continue to. These are connections that we can't miss. These are opportunities that we can't miss. Because it's an opportunity for massive soul growth, for energetic transformation, for balancing a tremendous amount of energy. And the universe is going to keep bringing that back because we ask for it, because we want it. When you manifest something and you manifest it correctly from the place of desire, that keeps coming back. You can't escape that manifestation. It will keep returning to you in some form or fashion. Even if you miss that boat, even if you thought you successfully dodged your own manifestation, which you only dodged because you were following ego, you were afraid of receiving it. Happens all the time. Again, not a judgment, but this is what we're learning. When you manifest something from the place of desire, it's often something that looks really scary, but it's something you really want. Feel underneath that fear. Do you really want this? Does this excite you? Does this feel scary, unknown, but also just enticing and like, oh, I really want to know. I really want to find out. Then go find out. Go find out. That's it. That's all the universe is saying. Go find out. And until you go and find out, you're not going to be satisfied. That's why it keeps coming back around, because you really want this. And what you ask for is given. It is given. Take your shots. Take your chances. Just go see. Go talk to that person. Just to talk to them. It doesn't matter where it goes. It doesn't matter if it goes anywhere. It doesn't matter if they shoot you down in the first 30 seconds. If they say, I don't want to talk to you, and they walk away, well, oh well. You followed the impulse. That's all that matters. You have a reason to feel good about yourself. It never mattered what the outcome was. But there's more than that here. There is more than that here. These are deep connections. These are soul connections that the universe is trying to bring together for the benefit of all, for the balancing of a lot of energy. And it's not going to stop. This is the wand that the universe is delivering, right? We've had 2 aces in this top card. We can blow out this match, right? Same thing with this scenario. You can shoot yourself in the foot. You can feel the impulse to go take that inspired action and find a reason not to, because you logicked yourself out of it, because you listen to the brain, you listen to the ego, and the ego will give you 1,000,001 reasons not to do something that you want. It will. And 1,000,001 reasons why to do something you don't want. That's why you leave this out. Observe it, watch it, pay attention, see how it's trying to influence you. Just don't let it. Be neutral. Be the neutral observer. Nod your head, listen to what ego is saying, and then just tap in. Tap in, tune in, feel, and follow the feeling. The feeling, the body, what you feel in the body is always true. This, not true, 99% of the time. This, what you're feeling in your heart space, in your physical body, is true. Listen to that guidance. We might have blown this match out, but the universe is relighting it. I mean, it's just one of those birthday candles. And again, we thought there was some victory in successfully blowing out the match and successfully squashing this and in avoiding the new beginning, which has this tremendous potential for joy. We thought there was success in that because the ego perceives it as dodging a threat. We avoided a threat. The threat is not real. The threat is only to ego. Not you. Not anything of actual substance. And actually, that perception of threat is just standing in the way of something you really want. It always is. The Lovers. I mean, why am I here? That just sums everything up. I don't even know if I can articulate half of the energy coming off of this. It's divine connections. Okay, we're trying to bring divine connections into being. Deeply, powerfully manifested, correctly manifested, with the appropriate intention. Pure desire, pure love, pure appreciation. What you ask is given. The universe is trying to give. These are connections that bring a lot of healing. They bring a lot of balance, not just to individuals, at a broader level. This is intended to help balance the collective. This is intended to have a ripple effect, to make some big changes in the world. And it's not gonna stop. It's not gonna stop. It will keep coming back until we follow the impulse. It will keep coming back until we follow the impulse. The soul is not going to let this go. This is also about learning how to listen to the soul. How do we discern what that guidance is? How do we feel it? And then actually following it. Not just listening, not contemplating, not theoretical. Putting it into practice. When I feel this impulse, I recognize it and I take the action. That's it. Or if it is an impulse towards inaction, because that is very possible too. Sometimes we have this strong desire, and I talked about this in the last video. I really want to talk to this person, but it feels forced. It feels forced. There's something else about it that feels like there's a wall there. Maybe there is fear involved, because that's possible too, and it's where it gets kind of confusing and convoluted. But you just got to tap in really, deeply and say, what do I feel? Does this feel like something I want to do? Does it feel like something I just don't want to do? Leave the fear out of it. That's why you got to admit and acknowledge when the fear is there. But you feel underneath it and say, okay, what is it that I really feel? Do I feel drawn to this? Do I feel called to this? Or does it feel kind of forced? Or again, am I feeling pushed by fear? Am I feeling like if I don't do this, I'm going to miss out on something? Pay attention. We're learning how to follow the soul. And it's going to keep pushing. The guidance will just get clearer and clearer. There's nothing to worry about. It will become more obvious. It will be the thing that just lights you up inside. You see the person, the situation, the whatever it is, and it just feels right. You feel drawn towards it. Magnetically, that's energetic, right? When you feel drawn towards it, just follow that pull. Let it pull you. Go with the flow. And if you feel repulsed, again, energetically, if you feel pushed away, even if there's something about it that you go, gosh, that seems like it's something that I would like or maybe want to do, but also it doesn't feel right. It's like something's pushing me away from it. Well, listen to that too. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's just not the right time. Either way, listen to the guidance. Now is the right time. That is the summary of everything. 7 of Pentacles. I mean, it's divine timing and it's contemplation. It is really looking at this. Is this an aligned action? Is it not? I feel that the feminine is really understanding how to pause, how to embrace the temperance, how to feel the impulse for stillness. And on the flip side, the masculine is being asked to pay attention to and begin to understand what is the impulse to action. It's underneath that. Justice. It's all of that. It's time for everything to balance. It is time for the masculine energy to take action. It is time for the feminine energy to embody and embrace inaction. And that's a balance within ourselves, right? This plays out at every level. All right, what's the energy of the connection right now? Trying to get out of it. We're trying to sneak away. It's the sneaky deaky. It's the sneaky deaky. You know exactly what you want to do. It's that whole fucking scenario I just described. You know exactly what you want to do. You want to talk to this person. You want to take action. But we're trying to weasel out of it instead. We're trying to find some way to go, oh no, but it's not right. Because we make some shit up. But we know we want to do it and we can't stop thinking about it. We can't take our eyes off of it. And that's just manifesting it to happen even more powerfully. There's no getting out of this. What's in the 3D? The Fool. It feels dangerous. We're right on the edge. Again, just about to pop, just about to leap. We're so close. If we just followed that impulse and said, fuck it, I'm going in. Fuck it, I'm just gonna jump. I'm just gonna see. Instead of talking ourselves out of it, we're right there. We really want to go. But the brain, where all of the hazy illusion devil energy lives, low vibrational energy, will come up with all kinds of reasons to say, it's safer over here. You don't want to do that because that's scary. You don't want to do that because it's uncomfortable. It takes vulnerability. We really want to do it. God damn, we really want to do it. All the yellow, too. It's a desire. Look at that. I can't make it up. We really want to do it. This is in the soul. Strength. Passionate. Leo energy. Forward motion. Being called to this. Being drawn to this. It's an opportunity specifically for us to do something that we really want, to follow the call of the heart in spite of fear. That is what this is about. That is the lesson for masculine energy, is to fucking do it anyway. Yeah, you feel afraid, but you want this. So why are you stopping yourself? Oh, it's just this vicious pull. But the desire is stronger. I'm telling you. The desire is stronger. Resistance gives out eventually. Fear cannot compete with desire. It gets to that point, and I have reached this point countless times over the past year, over the past 2 months, of feeling, gosh, I really want to do that, and gosh, that really scares me, and I don't know how to do it. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know what to say. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how it's going to go. And that's all scary. And the brain will come up with all of these reasons to say, oh, you're feeling tension. It must not be right. It's not right if you're feeling this tension. No, there's a difference. There's a difference between not wanting to do it and feeling like you're trying to force yourself, and really wanting to do it but having fear as your block there. And again, when you tune into the body, which the soul speaks, directly to and through, there's no blockage in that communication. When we inhabit the head space, we can have a lot of interference between what's coming through the heart chakra, where the soul is speaking, and what we're actually receiving. But if we tune directly in to the heart, to the body, we hear it clearly. What is your body saying? Are you angled towards this person? Are you primed and ready to get up and go talk to them because you really want to? That's your guidance right there. That's what the impulse is telling you to do. Even if it feels hard, even if it feels scary, however you're perceiving it, listen to the body. The brain does not know what it's talking about. Listen to the body, leave everything else out, and then just make the decision to follow that impulse and to feel good for following it. It doesn't matter what happens. The outcome is not relevant. What matters is that you felt the impulse, that's your energy moving, and you followed the flow of your own energy. Now you have followed the current. You're not in a state of resistance. You're in a state of allowance and reception. That feels good. You're surrendered to the moment. You're balancing your own energy by flowing with it. That feels good. And you feel the empowerment and satisfaction of doing that, of making a conscious decision to follow your soul's guidance. And then you actively realize, oh, it doesn't matter what happens. It's not about that. None of that is relevant. My source of empowerment and satisfaction is feeling the call and following it. That's it. Is leaping in faith. My God, what's the hidden energy? They've already done it. Again, the intention. Look at this. Look at this, how they're looking away from each other too. The universe is saying, this is the hidden energy of the universe saying, they already know, they already intend to do this. We're beyond the point of just setting the intention. It's already happened. This journey, this has already happened. We've already let go of this previous wand. We've already taken the step. We've already done this. We already walked up and introduced ourselves. Energetically, this has taken place. This is a bunch of bullshit. Whatever it looks like on the surface, it doesn't matter. It's not true. It's already happened. These connections have already come together. They have already culminated, moved on to the next stage. I'm not talking about specific people. Take this however it resonates. But this energy has already reconciled. The masculine and the feminine has already come together. There is no stopping this. Final outcome. Judgment. there's a lot actually tied to this. I mean, there is no stopping it, but it is... I mean, we got to get past judgment to get to the world, right? Or else we get kicked back to the previous version of the Fool, and then we do the whole thing over again. That's what's happening. It's gonna keep going over and over until we get past judgment, until we make the decision to actually take the leap, to actually go forward, to actually follow this impassioned, inspired impulse. We're being asked to face it again, and it's gonna keep coming back around more and more quickly. Used to be that these sorts of opportunities to resolve karma took a longer time to cycle through. Not so much anymore. The cycles are all escalating because we're done. We're closing out karma. We're closing it out. It's like this school is shutting down. And yeah, you used to have a test every year, and if you didn't pass the test at the end of the year, you had to wait till the next year to take it. That's not how it works anymore. We're reaching the end of summer school here. We'll put it that way. We've had several opportunities to take this test, but now summer school is getting ready to be finished. No more summer school. So instead of you get to retake this test next month, you get to retake it every day. You're retaking this test every single day until you pass. That's it. We're gonna pass the test. There is not a potential future where we don't pass this test. We pass. So it's gonna keep coming back until we do. Fuck. Okay. Just had to breathe there for a minute. It's intense. It's an intense energy. It's so close. It's just... I mean, it's the Fool. As many ways as I can illustrate this. He gets close to the edge, and then he turns around. But instead of taking this whole long journey, right, all the way back through the tarot, and then ending up at the cliff again, it's like he gets 3 steps away, and the universe puts up the hand and says, nope, go back again. Go back again. It's time to open up. It's time for this to come out, to come to the surface, to come to fruition. It's time to stop listening to the lies of the mind. That's third-party energy. The ego is a third-party energy that greatly influences our decisions. Primarily out of fear. Ego, shadow, they operate very much with one another. And the only result is pain. There's also... the more we try to run from this, the deeper the swords are driven. We think it's a victory, again, to avoid something that seems scary. There's different types of pain layered in here. Because I get fear from this as well. Yeah, fear that it's all made up. Fear that it's not real. That this can't possibly be a real soul-driven impulse. Because it feels so good. That's the backwards. Masculine energy has it so backwards. It's afraid of what feels good. And so it almost perceives that as pain. It feels so good and it's so scary. It feels so good that I resist it so much, and then that feels like, because I'm not really paying attention to my guidance, I think the fear means don't do it. I listen to the fear. And I wind up in greater pain because I didn't listen to something that was a genuine soul-driven impulse. I listened to the ego. Now I'm in more pain. Now I try to run from that pain. And there's the universe saying, stop. Look at the way his hand is in the air. Just like we were talking about. Stop. Go back. You missed it. You missed it. It's right there. Go back and face it again. And what do? First of all, we're talking about feelings. What are we facing? The feelings. Stop listening to the brain. Tap into the emotional space. That's how intuition, that's how guidance gets through. Through feeling. Not through thought. Feeling. And fear is not a feeling. It's a reaction. It's a visceral physical sensation that is generated by the ego. It is not a part of your guidance system. What is it covering up? What emotions are that fear covering up? What is it that you're really being driven to? There's an emotional expression. Again, that holding it in is driving us batshit insane. It just absolutely is. Yeah. The same shit. Oh, just say something. Just do something. Just go talk to them. Just say hi. Just say, I like your glasses. I like your shoes. How is it going? What's your name? It doesn't matter. Just take the shot. Just take the shot. Oh, express yourself. This is driving me nuts, swimming in this energy. I just had several cards fall out. Yep. There's no stopping this. It's when it is harder to hold yourself back, when you are restraining yourself, that's flowing against the energy. When you really want to do this, but you're holding back because of fear, that's flowing against the energy. When you really want to do this, but you're stopping yourself because your brain is saying, maybe it's not right, it doesn't make sense, that's flowing against the energy. When it takes more effort to restrain yourself, when you're listening to the fear, you are blocking your own energy from flowing, and it does not feel good. It's already flowed. What feels good? Follow what feels good. When you reach that place of realizing, I won't be satisfied if I don't do this, and that's why you have to feel into it, because the brain will fucking lie to you again, and it will convince you, nah, you're much better off, you'll feel much better if you just ignore it. That is not true. And you will feel it later. You will feel it later. You will feel that pang of regret, of disappointment, of dissatisfaction with yourself, because you listened to the mind, you listened to fear, you listened to ego over the soul. The soul was saying, just go for it, just go see, and you'll feel good. You'll feel good about yourself for having done that. Doesn't matter what happens. We can't block these manifestations. Judgment again. That's the base energy around deceit. We can't hide from this. We can't. Everything that you resist persists, and that absolutely includes things that you desire. You can't get rid of a desire. When you really want something, but you're trying to push it away, again, you're trying to convince yourself, no, I don't really want that. That's just pushing it out more to the universe as, yeah, this is great. Yeah, this is what I want. Yeah, give me more opportunities to do this. And it will keep bringing them back. That's on top. We would like it to just go away. It's a repeating message. We can't get away. This energy is balancing. We think we're succeeding by trying to get away from it, by trying to ignore it. It's not going to happen. Every corner that we turn, it's going to be right there. The further we try to run, the closer you are pulling that thing to you. It's universally true, energetically. It's how it works. Why is the Six of Swords here? I can't make this shit up. Five of Swords. It's the same message. It is the same energy. I have already stated this. I don't think I need to repeat it again. There's no getting out of this. There's no getting out of this fucking, we think we're winning by sneaking away. It's not happening. We're getting kicked back. And immediately, we are taking this test until we pass. And the test is being re-delivered, redistributed every day. Every day. Why is the Fool here? Oh, I want to put these cards back in. This Eight of Wands. Almost forgot about them. Let's just push that back in there. Why is this Fool here? Why is this fucking Fool here? Why won't he just jump already? Just jump. I am tired. I feel tired in this. Of just do it, man. I mean, have you ever spoken to a friend who was going on and on about something like this? Like, gosh, I really want to do it, but I'm really afraid. Whatever it is, I really want to take this job offer, or go for this interview, or talk to this girl, or take this trip, or whatever, but they keep butting themselves, right? And you can feel it, and you can tell, and you're like, man, you want to do this, just do it. Stop coming up with excuses, stop coming up with reasons not to. You want to do it, so do it. I'm sick of hearing you try to talk yourself out of it. We want to do it, so fucking do it. The match keeps getting lit. It's time for something new. It's not going to go away. It's just going to keep coming back around. This has been happening for lifetimes. This is older than even this lifetime. This fucking ridiculous stance of masculine energy wanting to make a move on feminine and then talking itself out of it and then thinking that it's got a victory by having escaped having to be vulnerable. This has been going on for lifetimes. And this is the one where it all stops, where it changes, where we do something different. This is the one. That's why the test is coming back more and more frequently. Because school is out. We're done. And we're passing this test. We're not being allowed not to. Again, because we chose. It's not like some other energy. God is not separate from the self. Source is not separate from the self. This is who we are. We are divine. We are one consciousness, right? And we decided, yeah, this is the lifetime where I figure this out. This is the lifetime where I resolve this pattern and I make a different choice. And because I decided, and I decided before this incarnation, I wrote that into my script, and I'm sticking to my script. It's happening. Like it or not, it's happening. It's perceived as so dangerous. It's so absurd. This causes so much stress. You can always tell ego is involved when there is stress and anxiety. And it's designed to help us overcome that, to help us face that, to help us realize I am making a huge deal out of this. My own ego is blowing up so big and scary that it's making it seem like talking to a girl could be the end of the world. Like it's an actual threat to my entire existence, my entire worth. How fragile must ego be to be so afraid of this? This is the opportunity to make a different decision, to see, oh my God, ego is so small. It is so scared. It is so easily threatened by the tiniest thing. That's not me. That's not who I am. I'm not afraid. I am not diminished by anything that could possibly happen to me. No, fuck it. I'm going to go talk to this person. I am going to feel the fear of ego and not let it rule my life anymore. Not another fucking second. I'm going to go do this because I want to. That's why. This is the lesson for all masculine energy, to experience the true empowerment of surrender, the true soul level confidence that arises when you feel an impulse towards something and you feel afraid and you do it anyway. You make a conscious choice. You witness what's happening and you feel around the fear. You see how ego's responding, and you don't use that as your guidance. You actually listen to the soul. Let's talk about strength, because the soul is on fire. It's lit. It's ready. It is prepared for this. It's saying, let's go. Green light. Hit the gas. Take off. See how it feels. You have the strength for this. You can handle this. Tell me about strength. You can handle this. King of Cups. There's a fear of oversharing too that the soul is trying to get us to overcome. Share how you feel. Fuck, what is oversharing? More than somebody wanted to hear? Well, it's not about what they want to hear. It's about what you want to say. That's it. Express yourself fully and authentically. That is where satisfaction comes from. It's not about how anybody else receives you, what they think, if they turn their nose up at you. If you make them uncomfortable, that's not your problem. That's not a problem. And it's certainly not your problem. You feel not so great when you don't balance your own energy. You feel good when you do. That means following the flow and following it fully. Express yourself fully, authentically, openly, honestly, and you feel good. And it doesn't matter what anybody says or does or thinks. That's true control. That is true control. Yeah, we're afraid of... We feel so much that we're overwhelmed, and we don't want to overwhelm with the flow of emotion. Let the overwhelm happen. Let it all spill out. This is here to help clear up our confusion between what is guidance and what is not. If it's motivated by fear, it's not guidance. If fear is standing in front of it, feel around it. We're not quite sure how to go about this. Just spit it out. You just spit it out. I will tell you. You give up the control. You accept that you don't know. You accept that you don't know how to go about this, but you want to. So you step forward and let it happen. And you let whatever comes out of your mouth come out. You become very present. You tap into your body. You engage. You listen. And then you express the feelings. You don't think about it. Wheel of Fortune. Give me one more for that. It just keeps coming back around, but there's another piece here. I'll start with the first layer. That it is again. We're not getting out of this. All the same stuff. It keeps coming back, but there's something else. What is that? It's here to help us remove a blockage. This is a long-term pattern that has worn itself out. It has... fuck, my phone storage overflowed. So we'll see if I can even get through the rest of this and mash this up. But I'm gonna try to hurry now. So tell me about the Two of Wands. This has been going on for a long time. It's been a done deal for a long time, one way or another. What else do you want to say about this Two of Wands? not trying to make this too much longer. Seven of Swords. Which technically is right with the two. Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. We've already set this intention numerous times. We're already gone. We're already out the door. It's already a done deal. It's done. It's done. The sale is complete. It's closed. We've signed all the contracts. It's finished. This is done. It's done. It's a bunch of bullshit that it's taken this long. Pretending that we were going the other direction. There is a communication that is overdue. This change has already taken place. We already know what we want. This is all just repeating energy. Again, this is right with the Five of Swords. This is that exact situation. I mean, you got a blonde mermaid sitting next to you, and you're gonna have this body language. You're gonna do this. You're gonna just go, no, I'm not interested. I don't want to talk to you. And then you feel safe when she walks away, like somehow you won. You got out of that situation of talking to someone you really wanted to talk to, of having a potentially awesome connection. Somehow that's a victory. No, it's not. And it's going to keep coming back around. Because the lesson, the victory is in vulnerability. And until we learn that lesson, we're going to keep having this test reapplied continuously. I am kind of done with this energy too. I mean, it's one note. It's the same thing, which is fantastic. It's very clear. I really appreciate that. Oh God, I'm dropping cards. Okay, those are the final 3 cards, actually. 4 cards. So I'm just going to set that aside. Have not turned that one over. Tell me about Judgment. Tell me about Judgment. Is there anything else? King of Cups just comes back. It's underneath that. Five of Pentacles. Yeah, it's about learning the value of giving the full cup, which means fully expressing your emotions. We've been leaving something out. We've been dipping the toe in. We've been doing it halfway, and it's not working. It's not working. We got to actually do this. There's that Ace of Swords come back. It's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Partial truths are not going to fly. And a lie of omission is still a lie. It's not going to work here. It's all got to come out. We got to share the full cup. We got to speak the whole truth. That's the only way this resolves. That's the only way we pass this test. Absolute honesty, radical vulnerability, complete self-expression. Again, you thought it, you whatever you think is too much, it's the right amount. It's enough. Do it. Just the cards fell over. Underneath Justice is the Two of Cups. I didn't know that was there. Yeah, this isn't going to resolve otherwise. And there's no escaping it. This is for the purpose of energetic transformation. There's a much bigger lesson here. There is a much bigger change happening than just walking up to somebody and introducing yourself. This has a domino effect. This is designed to break down a whole slew of blockages so that a whole bunch more stuff can come in. And again, there's no escaping it. There absolutely is not. These cards came out. They flew out of the deck. I am taking them as the final 3 cards. 4 cards, because that's what they are, with the crossing card underneath. 5 of Wands and the 3 of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. It's time to look. It's time to look at the ways that we have been disappointing ourselves by fighting our own desires, by fighting what it is we really want. Is there something that keeps coming back into your life, and every time you get excited and then you're afraid? How are we behaving? Are we behaving in a way that we feel proud of at the soul level? Are we behaving in a way that is authentic? Or are we letting the bullshit, the made up, the nonsense? This is a bunch of nonsense. We've been letting the nonsense build, and we've been letting it guide our behavior. It's time to see it for what it is. It's time to see that it's nonsense. It's a load of shit. It means nothing. It is not a part of our guidance system. It's time to take a different action. There's that Three of Swords come back. As the crossing energy for this, I kind of... It's time to face the pain, and it's time to let that guide us, because it will. It will. If we actually feel this, if we actually invite and embrace it again, because it is that pain that's driving this disappointment. The pain from being rejected, from failing, quote unquote, as the ego perceives it at something, is no match to the pain of denying your soul impulse. That is what haunts you. This is that haunted energy, and Steve's Love Tarot has talked about it. This is what haunts us. The things that we don't say, the things that we don't do, that we wanted to, the things that we took a shot on and we tried and we found out, oh, maybe I got burned. Maybe there was an ouchie from that. Maybe there was some, rejection. Something happened and it hurt my ego. Oh, ouch, scary. That's not a wound to you. That's a wound to the imagined self that does not exist. That's not real pain. Real pain, the stuff that haunts us, that sticks with us, the stuff that makes us wake up at night in a cold sweat, riddled with guilt and regret, it's the things that we didn't do, the things we didn't take action on because we were afraid. We wanted to, but we didn't. We held back. We've been doing that for lifetimes, and it's time for that to stop. Share your truths, share your emotions, share them fully. You're afraid you're going to overwhelm somebody? You're afraid you're going to overwhelm yourself? So what? Overwhelm. Flow more than you think you possibly could. Flood them. Flood yourself. Let it all out. It's not about the outcome. It's not about anybody else. It is about expressing yourself openly, authentically, all the way. And then when you do it, you will feel the power of it. You will know. That's the only thing that mattered. The only thing that mattered was I felt and I followed the feeling. I let it loose. I didn't hold it back. I didn't try to restrain it or control it or guide it. I just let it out there. Now I feel good. Now I feel free. Now I realize nothing actually can touch me. Now I realize it doesn't matter if I get rejected or insulted or anything. None of that matters. I'm good. I followed my heart. I can be proud of myself. I can feel that satisfaction. And I realize now I'm self-sustained. I am self-satisfying. My own sovereignty to myself is all I need to feel good. I'm done. I'm done. I need to splice this onto the next reading, so I don't want it to be too long, but also, I'm done. This resonates powerfully with me. I do intend that it resonates with you in the most beneficial way possible. If so, I would love to know. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you feel so inclined. Just do what feels good to you. Because it feels good to you. No other reason. No hidden agenda, no other motivation. It feels good, do it because it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, and you know what I mean, if it feels icky, if it feels like a slog, if it just feels like, no, I don't want to do that, then don't. But pay attention to fear. Pay very close attention to the role that fear plays in your decision making. Just watch it. Where is it blocking you? Where is it pushing you? Do the opposite. Do the opposite of what the fear is telling you to do. That's it. Really. That is the reading. I gotta go. Just cleanse this, wash this off. But powerful shit. Have a fabulous afternoon. my lovely collective. I adore you. I truly do. And just know that always and always, in every vector of time and space, I am proud of you. You are doing great. You can trust yourself. You are safe to feel. Follow your impulses. And know that I love you. Take it easy.